Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Civil War. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way, shall we? I'm gonna need you to leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Civil War, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate that. And this guy over here who's looking out the window would also greatly appreciate that, as he gets a treat for every subscription that I get. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into the review. So, this is A24's, I want to say, first big blockbuster. They released a statement saying, hey, we can't just keep making the movies that we make. Even though all of them are fantastic, I really do truly believe A24 is the best studio out there right now. Because, again, they really just let the creators create. And like, hey, you want to do this? All right, that's fine. How much money do you need? Okay, here you go. And they just let them go. Sometimes, most of the time, it's a big strength. Sometimes it does hurt them a little bit. And I think they're finally catching on to that because they're like, look, we're not really making a profit with the types of movies that we make. So we're going to start making more big budgeted films. And judging by how the box office is going, it's going to work out and they're going to be just fine. And this is written and directed by Alex Garland, who this might be his final film. As he says, he has kind of fallen out in love with the filmmaking process. He has made some great films like Ex Machina, Annihilation. I think he helped write 28 Days Later. Men was the one that came out before this one. And I gotta say, after watching this film, I really don't see how he's out of love with it, because he did great. Now, this could have been easily a case of, you know, he probably made Men, which it's not his best. It's not. It's just not. And he probably realized it during that film that he was like, maybe the drive just isn't there anymore. And then when he was making this one, goes, okay, this is my last ride. I'm going out with a bang, because he really truly does deliver on most aspects of this film. Where its strength is that, you know, is its cast with Kirsten Dunst and the crew that is with her. I don't remember all the performers' names, unfortunately, but there's Kirsten Dunst, and she has her best friend that's with her, and they're kind of partners, and they're the main two driving forces within this road trip movie, really, where, you know, they're going from New York City to Washington, D.C. to get to the president, get this photo of the president. And along with them is this older gentleman who has been around for, you know, in photojournalism for a long time. And, you know, he's just kind of, you know, looking for that one last ride, if you will. And then there's this young girl that really idolizes Kirsten Dunst's character, who is a legend, if you will. And, you know, wants to follow in her footsteps and wants to become a photojournalist. And she's kind of our eyes to it, because as for Kirsten Dunst and her friend, they're kind of jaded. They've seen this all before. You know, they were war photo people before this. And, you know, it's just life to them. As for her, the young girl, she's brand new. She don't really know all this. So, you know, we're kind of learning through her eyes. And as I stated, this is really a road trip movie. You're just spending time with these characters, and everyone performs great. And, you know, the cinematography is amazing. The filmmaking is great. And the story of something I appreciate about Alex Garland's work and his writing is that he don't muck around. He gets straight to it. The Civil War has already begun by the first few seconds of this film. And we don't really learn why it started. Like, sure, there are some, you know, conversations that we have with our characters who are very, very neutral, who don't lean one way or the other, that, you know, hey, maybe this is part of it, maybe this is part of it. But we really don't know how this started, or how California and Texas became an alliance, which still baffles me. I don't know how those two could get along, but maybe it was how Alex Garland is trying to portray, hey, look, America is so messed up that the ultimate red state and the ultimate blue state had to come together. But yeah, but like the photojournalists, who are very, very neutral, who don't really have an opinion on it, the film doesn't have an opinion on it either, which I could see some people having a hard time with it, because it is election year, and, you know, people really looking for those stories and, you know, how people should think and all this thing, and you should vote this way. This ain't the kind of movie that it's going to be. Now, there are some scenes where, you know, because I'm losing my train of thought, but like the photojournalist, we make stops along the way, and it's kind of just, you know, us observing the situation that we are in. And there are two that really stand out. And the main one being is with Jesse Plemons. Now, y'all know Jesse Plemons. He's a great actor. He is absolutely phenomenal, and he's basically in a cameo role here because he's only in it for one scene. But when I tell you it's the best scene in the whole movie, and the way that it's played, and you're just like, okay, no, this dude is scary. His group is scary. The tension and was just terrifying to watch with him. And that's probably the one scene where you're like, okay, I can see where this film might be leading if it was to have a voice. But again, we're really just observing because it really doesn't make it clear on why he is the way that he is. We can maybe make some indications on it, but again, it's all to the eye of the observer. How I see that scene with Jesse Plemons might be different from how you see that scene with Jesse Plemons. And there's another scene that's kind of disturbingly funny because of how morbid it is, where there's two people just shooting each other, because the lesson overall within this movie is that it's a cautionary tale of like what will happen if America really did turn on each other with how today's society is and how just evil can get, because two people are fighting. We'll say that in this other scene. Again, that's disturbingly funny. They're at war with each other, and they're like, okay, well, which side is he on? And they're like, I don't know. I just know he's shooting at me, so I'm coming after him. And they're like, okay, but what side are you on? Maybe y'all are on the same side. And they're like, dude, he's trying to kill me, so I'm trying to kill him. There's no explanation needed, and it's just so. The way that it's played out is so morbid, and it's funny, but yet scary because it feels real. Out of all post-apocalyptic movies, this is the one that's probably going to hit home the most for most people, and that might not terrify, but make some people uncomfortable because, again, it could be close. I really don't think it will be because I really don't think we have that kind of killer instinct in us. But nor do I want it. I do not want to be in a modern civil war, and especially in the world that this movie has created by any means necessary. It's still fiction is what I'm trying to say. It's just that it's close, and it could get there. And I think that's what the movie is trying to convey. It's like, look, maybe be kind. Maybe a little bit kinder, because this could be your future. But, again, there's other stops as well. Like, there's also a scene where people just ignore it. And there's people like that in real life, too, who just ignore the problem. Like, hey, we're going to stay out of it. As long as you don't come to us, we're good. We're fine. And, that's how they live their life. And then there's another group here. It's just a slice of life where you're just kind of sitting there and you're just observing. And, again, how every scene portrays, how I perceive it might be different from you. So if you're going to head out to the theaters this weekend, absolutely go see Civil War, because it is a great time. The only problem I have with the movie is the ending. The whole third act, it really loses some momentum. Like, it just felt like it just rushes to the end, because it really is taking its time. It's on an hour 50, and it kind of feels like in a way that they were going to expand on some things, because there's a character switch within the third act that makes no sense whatsoever. You could kind of draw why the sudden change, but it was like step 1 happens towards the end of Act 2. And then Act 3, it's already on step 9, and it's so odd. It's very jarring, really, like how much it takes you out. Like, whoa, don't know how this character got here, but whatever. And then also some beats happen, like a big moment happens in the third act. And it just kind of gets washed over as well. And it just really felt like, hey, we're running out of budget. We need to wrap this up, and we need to get done with it. Oh, but I still got a bunch of work to do. I don't care. We're out, and we can't give you any more. Wrap this thing up. It's truly how it felt like. But again, that's the only problem with it. The third act is very, very weak because of how rushed it gets things with some character development, and with just how it ends in general, because again, a big moment happens and it's just kind of just, we just go over it. And again, it makes no sense whatsoever. But besides that, Civil War is a good lemonade, which is the fourth ranking out of the 6. It goes sour lemon, expired store-bought lemonade, lemonade, freshly squeezed lemonade, and then strawberry lemonade. It was freshly squeezed until that third act. The third act hurts it a lot. Hell, it was probably maybe flirting with strawberry lemonade too until that third act. it really hurts the movie quite a bit. But the first two acts are so good that it still maintains Lemonade. So with that, that's my review for Civil War. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on it. Do you also hate the third act as much as I do? Again, hit that subscribe button as it helps me and my dog here, who's laying on my lap, to get a treat as well. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.